Well, good morning, everyone. Warm welcome to my YouTube channel, Making It in Austria. We are recording the second part of the 100th episode of Making It in Austria, in a way how it started and where we are now. Uh, as you have seen in the first part, I'm being interviewed this time by beautiful Natalia Villanueva García, who I had the pleasure to interview some months back when she was starting on her journey more publicly with you know love to herself, or yeah, more love, more self-love as a self-love artist. So warm welcome. Today I hand over to Natalia as with the first part. She has some really cool ideas, so I will lean down or lean back,
Relax.
relax, breathe,
Yes.
and enjoy the questions that you have prepared.
Yes. So thank you, Adela, one more time for me having this privilege and honor to interview you, the one who came up with all this idea and all these 100 interviews. And so it's really great for me to have an insight, and I'm sure the community is also very curious about what you have to say. So for this second part, I would like to focus
Mhm,
first on the interviews themselves,
mhm.
what have been done in the 100th times, and the second part a little bit on you,
Okay,
because probably some people would benefit from knowing maybe more details about you.
cool.
And this
Let's
is
do
it.
it.
Okay. So the first part, I would like to have four short questions about the
Yeah.
interviews you have done in the past 3 years or 3.5.
Yes, more than
Yes.
three for sure.
So what is most important for you in an interview when you do an interview?
When I do an interview, I put all love and attention on my guest.
Mhm.
So I really, so I had interviews that, we had to stop because the guest was not feeling, I knew that he and she had too much more to say, but they felt, oh, all these lights are now and it's on and people gonna see it and my colleagues gonna see it and my boss gonna see it, and they just, you know, froze a bit. So
Mhm.
in these instances, we would stop, we would go, off topic, we would chat about, we would get to know each other. Because as you know, I don't know all my guests already before the interview. I know about them, I have followed them, we chatted, but with some of them I have not ever met in person yet, or we met later on, and so on. So they need to create this some sort of, you know, trust and warmth with me, and with the Zoom and with being it publicly sharing their thoughts and ideas and their stories, which are very personal. And for
Yes.
some of them, might be the first or the second time that they're doing, or maybe they're doing for the first time in English. Usually, they do it most of the content in German, and
Mhm.
some things, just the usual human things that come around. But I do put all the spotlight on my guests. However, as some of you know, all these topics, I'm curious about what my guests do and how they started. So I might get, involved more with one topic than the other. For instance, about career planning or networking. So I do
Mhm.
get to give my tips back and forth. And at the end of the day, I believe that it's a good mix. So I tend not to interrupt them. I tend to, give them a lot of space where they can be, broad and share.
Mhm.
And I also tend to give one or the other view and resources that I think, in a bigger picture would be interesting for the audience,
That's
whatever the topic
amazing,
is.
because that is exactly how I felt when you interviewed me. Yes, it was really special because I felt I could be me.
Yeah,
I felt I am being taken care of.
yeah,
I don't need to be afraid.
yeah.
I can say is safe. This is exactly what you also what I felt when you, and
Oh,
we didn't know each other that time.
yeah.
So probably I am one of them that became friends after the
Yeah.
interview.
Oh, thank you for
So
sharing.
no, it's
I
really
grew up,
alive.
yeah, thank you. I grew up watching opera all my childhood. So that's one of the programs that we had access to back then before all the internet and so on. So I grew up
Yes.
watching opera all the
Okay,
time. Yes, during the
amazing.
summer especially because
Okay,
it was very
and
hot.
what is your favorite moment in an interview?
Um, I love it when you are on your own, right? So when you are fully owning the stage and I'm just there. And I
Mhm.
love when when you smile, when you share, when you feel like, okay, I want to share this and that. And some people then, when it's not sketched, when it's your story, when you feel and most of you do share more than you ever thought you will, because when people, my guests send me their biographies, so these short bios. So it's usually like 3 sentences, this typical 3 sentences, start here and now been there, now I'm here. And then I want to unwrap it. So it's special for me because I'm trying to find this special, because I know I've digged up about you, I followed you, for instance, on LinkedIn and other social media, or I met you. So there are so many special moments that you have shared with me, but they are not in this bio, or maybe you're not sharing at this point of time, or maybe you're thinking it's too much or too little and so on. So I want to get that one out to get the reason. So why do you do things that you do? So there has to be a reason why you have decided, out of millions different career paths nowadays that we have, why
Mhm.
have you decided to put your energy and love to this specific project? So I really want to go back to, it might be your childhood, it might be your mom, it might be your dad, it might be the community, your grandma, someone somewhere along the way might have impacted why you're doing what you're doing. So I really want to try to get to this, that people connect with you on a personal level.
Okay.
Yeah. So really trying to find, so for instance, recently I did an interview that will be published later on, and it was about the color pink. So my guess, she's
Okay.
about love for color pink. So, and then you see it in her logo, and then you see about her, and then you see here and there. So we talked about this. You open up. So when you do an interview, you open up about topics that they love to talk about. And then
Yes,
once
and
you
many
unwrap,
things that were not expected.
yes. So
Yes.
because she put it at the end of her short bio. So it's like, I graduated here, I lived here, I did that, and I worked here, and so on. And then she put a small note, so that at the end of the last sentences in the short bio, she put that. But everything, if you look at her profile, so everything is pink. So we have to talk about the pink.
Yes,
Right. So we can talk about Sarajevo, we can talk about the studies, we can talk about
yes,
love for Vienna, but we have to talk about pink.
that's true. Ah,
Or
that's lovely.
yeah.
It's like discovering new things you didn't know.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So I do read all the bios that people send me. I do check them on their LinkedIn profiles and other social medias. But I do myself want to get more out of it. So it's not a
Mhm.
repetition. It's something. It's really
Yes.
discovering this person from a totally new angle.
And it's probably surprising for themselves that they didn't know
Yes.
they would share that.
Yes.
So is
Yes.
this, oh, okay,
Yes.
no, this is out, probably this. That's lovely. It
And
did
I think
happen to me too. Yes.
and I think one of the things is, I do have interviews mostly with people who have their own businesses, or they have some side business and then other business. And I don't remember having to cut anything over the years, because it was a conversation. So it was a lovely chat. It was like we meeting for coffee or tea and in a warm
Yes.
place, and we talk about us. And yeah, so I think I had
Okay.
one edit because one of my guests slipped one of the information that should not be there out publicly,
Okay.
and because she's fully dedicated to the work in this company. So apart from that, it was a smooth conversations because
Okay. So now soon we will hear about your
yes,
surprising
the slip
moment.
out.
Yes.
All this.
I just have two or three short questions
Yes.
from the community.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
Yes.
how did you envision this podcast at the beginning, and how do you feel at the 101 episode?
Okay.
If you can short, so we
Yes.
can go to
Yes. So we do.
part.
Yeah. I think that was from Alexandra, right? That's what, or was it from
Yes.
Alexandra? Yeah. So I did interview with Alexandra Dolin. You can find it. I checked. It's I think 88 episode. So it's been some months ago. Oh, and I love that interview with her because it was such a flow, Monday morning flow, and then she was surprised herself, like how flowly was this? So how did I envision? So I believe we touched it upon in the first part, but
Yes, we
at
did.
this, I just wanted to start it. And the ones who just like to really, I didn't have like this sort of 5 years plan. And you see that also in in what happened over the last couple of years is this love for meeting new people. So and offering, getting this platform up to bring as many people's stories as possible without any, so to say, like being attached to the things like who's going to be my sponsor, who's going to put money into this, who is going to listen this. I honestly believe from the very beginning that there is something in it without, kind of testing the market. I was not doing this classical MBA thing that you would do and then go out and test the market and see what's available and not, and so on and so forth.
Yes.
I started in a time when podcasts, YouTube channels, etc., were booming. So in the age of Corona lockdowns and such, and I saw the opportunity. I saw the need that people wanted to listen to my story, have had questions of starting a career in Austria, and I built up on that. So I genuinely cared about all these questions that I got and people being interested in and asked me, so how is it if I come without knowing the language, without a job, with the kids and for the school and these and that and millions other options that you have. And I genuinely wanted to do something about it, not to leave it aside and continue with my life, because I could have done it. I could have finished my mission impacting 1,000 women, close it for a year, go on a maternity and do something else, But I genuinely
think about other people's challenges in life.
Yes. So I genuinely was wanted to tackle this topic.
This is the topic I want to tackle also a little bit. To smoothing into the second part, get to know a bit more.
I saw a challenge and I was looking for the ways to solve it. And one of the ways was this. Alex, thanks for asking. And I was also leaning in, especially after giving a birth, to where this takes me, And there was a lot of things that we done was from the community itself, like getting togethers, like monthly meetings, like visiting you and your business and bringing people like corporations. So they bloomed out of it. So I continued interviewing people and offering, the platform, especially, also to, young entrepreneurs, mompreneurs, solopreneurs,
Is this how you became a networking queen?
Might be.
Okay. Maybe like that was like something that came out of
it started out.
It was not envisioned from the beginning, but it now exists.
Some things you can plan, like, okay, put the numbers on it, put the time you do it. But, some things have, landed to me so nicely. And, I could not be more, happier that I am more grateful that I've done this and dedicated many years and time of my life for it.
Okay. So let's transition smoothly to you.
Yes.
Okay. I know you love to hear about other stories, what you have to tell us now, but probably if it's okay for you, maybe I can ask a very short question about your story.
Sure.
So
you can ask me anything.
I gave you a homework, and we will not share the homework in this episode, but I will just say that the homework was to write a very short fairy tale. about you. And out of this fairy tale, I just want to ask if you would like to share what was your biggest challenge in life?
Mhm.
Because it felt to me that it was something that transformed you.
Um,
And
I'll share mine,
usually things
and you
that
share
change.
yours, how you see it,
Yes.
because from your point of as a coach, you see it, and you know me over the years now. So I would like to hear yours as well. Um, so if you have not done this, to try to do this exercise, write your life as a fairy tale. So Natalia, I didn't know
In
about this.
7 sentences.
7 sentences. I didn't know about this too. So if you're curious about, reach out to Natalia, check it out, what it is. It gets you a lot of thinking. And for me, I wrote many things about my life. So I was, I was journaling. I was in various coachings and mentoring sessions and whatnot. So I had quite a lot of time spending with myself, especially in the late before turning 30s. So before that, I was not, because my life was quite different, and it was not really having these breaks in between where I could sit and reflect. And I didn't know what is reflection until I turned around 30, and I didn't know what's integration of what I have learned until I became a mom.
Yes. And I now, right now, if I might share about me, 2 seconds. Now I'm in the like, and now I need to integrate a lot of whole things more when childrens are grown
Grown.
ups, 3 years old, they go from home, and then you're like, okay, new chapter. So this is the
So I
like our
discovered,
cycle.
yes,
Yes,
and I think my first impression with this fairy tale too is that you can write many fairy tales. There's not one fairy tale, because
yes,
we're
exactly.
not one dimensional. So, and you can pick up many things from your life that you can build upon that.
Yes,
You don't even need
yes.
a chat GPT or whatever for that. You can, you realize, there's this thing that I really love about. And one of the things that I had in my fairy tale, and I put it out yesterday. So I wrote it in 5-10 minutes, but I was thinking about the whole week. So that's how
Yes,
usually it goes. You have it, you plant a
yes,
seed, and then
yes.
it runs with you.
It
And
felt to me like that was the story that had the most impact in who you are now.
yes, and I was asking myself, why did it, like, because it came out so quickly, and I was writing about this, and I do remember these specific stories in my life. So what I have captured in a fairy tale is something that I do go back vividly to, to this memory of my childhood, where I'm saying that I wish my house had wheels
That was
and
really beautiful.
wings, so to take it with me wherever I go. And back then, it was because of the reason we had to move so many times during the war. So it was this, I want to take with me what I have.
Mhm.
I want to take it with me, and I want to go anywhere. And the second motion that I had, and it was like, I was probably about 10 years old. And when I'm saying, am I going to ever go anywhere and see anything in this world? At least the
Mhm.
next city. I told you in the first,
Yes.
I from a small village, and then the next city. There
Mhm.
was this at 10 years old, this urge that I want to travel and see. And the way I've closed this fairy tale, and I was thinking about the sentences that I built homes everywhere, in a way, many different homes
Yes.
with wings and wheels wherever I go. And that got me thinking. So I believe I have to I have to think about that even
But
more.
you also mentioned like a godfather or godmother,
Yes,
like a
yes,
magic
exactly.
person.
Exactly. So I got a friend and a mentor when I was 19 years old.
Mhm.
And I called it Little Bear, because there are two, I told you, these stuffed animals that I have kept with me over the years. And one of them is Lamb, and one of them is a little bear. And yeah, so he came to my life and offered on the plate for me to do all these things, you know, without asking anything for return. That's why I call him a friend, and it's almost like I call him my second father, because he never. So he came and saw, And through me, he saw his story of him
Mm.
growing up. So that's even special because we are not connected. We are never, there is no way on earth that we would be able to meet. So he's not relative, he's not from Bosnia, so he's from the Netherlands. So completely different, way, way, way apart in every sense. But he found me, you know, it's unbelievable. You know, it had to happen, you know, it had to happen to me,
Yes.
to this child, playful girl. I was very playful, Nanta, when I was, and I see my daughter as well, and I love it. So when I was a kid, very playful. I knew that I was putting different colors on my head, so I was doing different roles. You know, playing around, being next to my mom all the time, and then, you know, entertaining and bringing things back and forth. And I was very protected. You know, I had two older brothers, I had my father, so I remember they had to take care of me, you know, a lot, you know. And
Yes.
my mom would get very angry if something would happen. I was outside, and then she was like, why are you not taking care of her? I told you to look after her. We were all kids, that's natural.
Yes.
And then I had a big chunk in my life where I was the one who was caring about others. Big one, you know, from the 7th till the 19th. So there was a big portion of my life
Yes.
that you go through where I was
And
the one that was
significant.
taking. Yes. And then when I was 19, I get the big present from life where I get to be pampered and taken care of and listened. And I get the chance to, first time in my life, hear sentences like, I'm proud of you. And I didn't know what does it mean, I'm proud of you, because we don't use it in our, back then in our language. So it was not something that was common in the environment where I was growing up and closer and further around. So it was not something you get like, I'm proud of you. And you don't have to have all the tense to be, you know, so that we are friends, or like I care for you no matter if you are the top students or student or not, or I care about you because I care about you as a person. You know,
Wow. That's
yeah.
actually you're answering my second question
Tell me.
already. Because I wanted to ask, what do you know now that you didn't know if you didn't have this life challenging situation? And that's probably the answer, or
Yeah.
one of many answers.
What would be? I remember when I was growing up that I didn't ask many questions, but I was but I was praying every night. You know, I had my prayers, and I was talking to God, so all the things that are going through me. So I think I'd never envisioned where it could go. So I never, you know, had this. I knew that I wanted this freedom. So and as you live through that fairy tale, so freedom is still for me a quite an important sign. You know, I am you know, Wasserfrau, so water sign, and it's so important to me, you know, to have wings, to spread my wings, to have home anywhere I want to go. So because that's also freedom for me, you know. And
Yes.
I also interpret in a way that I am welcomed in many homes nowadays than I was not before. And for instance, making it in Austria is also the reason for it.
Yes.
Because through that, I have opened many doors.
Yes.
And I have, you know, met so many people that, you know, I can knock on their doors, and their home is, and my home is their home, and their home is my home. So I have been doing around that what I was thinking as a
Yes.
child.
And
Quite
it's
a
also
lot.
similar to the very first thing you said today, that
Yeah.
when I ask you what is important for you about an interview, and you say that people feel, and
Yeah.
you describe it, but we can also say home.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I do love
That
taking
was the
people.
feeling when you interviewed me. I feel home, I feel safe, I feel comfortable. I feel that I can lay in the sofa with my feet on the sofa, you know, and nobody's going to tell me anything. So
So I
that's
don't know
the
if I
feeling.
have answered your question, Nata, but I have been taken many things in my life. So, but I have been given so many things in my life.
Yes.
So I'm very, very grateful through the journey that I gone. So, and it's my path. So if I would say, of course, there are things that people would change. That's natural. That's human. So I would, of course, love to have my mom around. But well, I learned to understand that, we are a community always. So it's not always what's for me, what's just for me, or so like,
Yes.
okay, the other person has also needs, and that
Yes.
next person has needs and needs and needs. And then it's not about compromising, but it's about learning how to live with that other people have needs, and that sometimes my needs are not their first needs. So
Yes.
we are different souls, and we have different energy, we have different wishes and dreams, and what we want to achieve, and I think it's beautiful. And as I have met so many people, I do appreciate the moment that I have in their life, but I don't expect anything else in a way that someone believes that they owe me something, or if we manage to get a job for someone through the community, yeah, let it flow. Let it flow, and that's how it goes in life, as
Yes.
I got the big presence in my life as well. Without me, I was in my own lane and doing my own thing, going to high school and doing my homework and doing things around the house. But then the big gift came to me, and then I take it and I made the best out of it, and continue with the rest of my life through.
What was the gift?
I mean, meeting this big friend,
Okay.
the mentor and the
Yes.
friend. So that was quite a big gift in my life,
That's amazing.
because it would be a quite different. So I don't know if it was challenging financially as well, because I was not having had financial support to continue my studies. So my life would probably turn out quite differently, being somewhere completely different. And I see those moments in my life, where people pop up in your life
Yes.
for short, and some for them long, and they disappear. So, but you, in that perfect moment, you get the chance to, make the best out of it, because you don't have a guarantee. And that's maybe losing my mom taught me. You don't have a guarantee that this person is going to be there tomorrow, today in the afternoon. So you don't have that. So even though we can, try to hold as much as we want, but we don't have that guarantee. So losing my mom and becoming a mom taught me about these things, that you don't own other kind of person, and you don't own the time. So you have to make the best out of it. And that's also with people. Whatever I have the chance to go, even for a walk, 10 minutes, 15, coffee, I do it. And then we will see if we can make it another time and another moment. Awesome. If not, so then we cherish this moment that we are, have with us, and it's stored somewhere within us.
Oh, Adela, thank you. Those such beautiful words. That is so true.
Yeah, we
Enjoy
should.
it as if there was
Yes.
no tomorrow.
Yes,
Yes.
really,
Yes.
just make the best out of it. Smile as much as possible, and hug people as much as possible, yourself too, and
Yes.
just, yeah, be
I
surrounded
think
with good people.
that is a great transformational story that you are sharing with us. Thank you so much for being so open. It's not easy, I know.
Yeah, yeah,
And as we are coming to the end of this second part, and I am very happy that we have decided to make two parts, because
yes,
one part was too short to share so much. I also ask you to share with me like your soundtrack, and what I meant with that was what we feel it's our song or a soundtrack when we enter a big part, or when we have some interview, or
yeah,
when we have something important and we put this song, we feel empowered.
yeah.
And please share with us which was your song, and maybe tell us a little bit about it.
Yes,
Then before we say bye,
yes. Before we say bye, um, yes, that was a great exercise, Nata. One is another great one from you. So I picked the one from Christina Aguilera. I hope I pronounce it well. The one called Beautiful. And I love the word beautiful, and I use it quite often if I reflect, go back. And there was something in that song, and I love her as an artist. When I was a teenager, so that was the age of Christina, and so I love her as an
I'm
artist.
a genie in a bottle, baby.
Yeah,
I remember.
I'm just 180, but not. I'm not sure if I can fit into the bottle, but it's quite beautiful, isn't it? You're beautiful beyond the words. There's something about it gives you, and I watched this video of it. There's certain different videos of it, so if you can have, just look at YouTube, and it's about us. Words do hurt, so it's very important to understand that what we say and how we say that it matters. It sticks.
Yes.
Especially from people. It can be also from the strangers, but also, but importantly as well, from people that we are surrounded with and people that we care for.
Yes.
I remember I have few sentences that my father told me, and I know them in and out, no matter when. So when you wake me up and what time of the night, as they say. So words do matter, and we see that they matter more and more these days because we are so connected, so interconnected, so easily to see, to hear words that are not encouraging, that are not empowering, that are so mean. Like, you're not beautiful, you're ugly, your nose, your eyes, whatever. I don't know, I'm fat, or I was told I was fat when I was growing up as a teenager. And I was over 70 kilos, and I was, trying to, make it that it's less and so on. It does hurt. It really hurts. And nowadays, with my knowledge these days, I can understand the person back then, because it was not about me. It was not about me. They were mean by them, so they were hurting themselves, so they were putting it out of me because I was the most vulnerable in the room, right? So you're as a teenage girl with 14, 15, someone, and full of your skin is red, you have few kilos more. Well, of course, it's easy to attack me, and I
It's
was
an
like,
easy target, but that doesn't mean it's okay to
it's
say.
not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. I can understand now. I was very angry back then, but I didn't know how to channel that anger, because I didn't have someone to talk to. And it was like the life was very, very fast. So I didn't have someone to talk about that, about the feelings, emotions, and going through the puberty. What does it mean? And so on. And I think what I want to say now with this, and I think what I'm learning through this interview with you, Natalia, is that I am not angry anymore and hurt. I came to the point of my life where I had stored a lot of it in my years, and then people saying things and putting certain expectations on me and being mean and being this way or that way. And I came now to the point of my life where I'm not angry anymore, where it's gone. It's somehow I can remember it. I can put it somewhere. It's there, but I don't have I don't get red, and don't explode, and I don't have hard feelings. I have more feelings of compassion, and then it's like one moment in my life. It doesn't define me. I don't have to spend all day in my bed and like, okay, she said that or he said that. And just one more thing, because I know we are closing and I'll keep it short. I've been member of many, many communities and networks, and quite a lot over the last 10 years since I moved to Austria. And, the time of them has boomed. And I believe spending so much time with so many women around the world. So it's like really anything that you can think of, not just, with MBAs and PhDs, but like really, with my neighbor around here and there. So, and with anyone that I could get a chance to talk to, is what taught me is that when I had these moments back then when I go into different rooms, I feel like I'm not worth, what am I doing here? I had some networks where I would go and I was thinking, oh my God, what am I doing here? I know it, they know it. We have, there's the look you look, they look, oh,
Yes.
why on earth? But I went and I went another one, it's different one, and these and that and so on. But now I feel that I can go in any room because I know myself. I'm not there to take anything from you. I'm not there to compete with you. I'm not there to talk behind your back. I'm not there. I'm there for a reason. I'm really there for either to learn from you, to meet another person, to have a good time,
To be you.
connect, to be me, to connect people and go home and just be okay with all that. Just be okay going the first one, just be okay with, doing a little something and not 55 things and so on. What being surrounded with people over the last years had taught me that, if I can say, my self-worth has improved in a way, not because I'm comparing things, but I was, going to so many different rooms that I now started to feel myself okay.
But you also connect with so many.
Yes, I have something to offer too.
So many, you connect also in some level. I don't have your experience. I haven't interviewed 100 persons, but I can imagine if you have all these moments of connection, each interview, as you told us at the beginning, I guess that's really really warmth of your heart. So that's great. Okay, do you have any
No, I'll
words
leave
to say
this one last minute for you, or last seconds. We are less than 1 minute.
Thank you so much for sharing, for opening up. I know these 2 exercises were not easy, and thank you so much. And there will be lots of more episodes from all of the new members of the community, the ones you have never met.
Yes.
And are coming, and I'm looking forward to all the 1,000 episodes to repeat.
Oh my God. Oh my God. We did that. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening. Please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please do follow Natalia. She's doing wonderful things. And we see you soon with the new episodes. They are already stacked and waiting. Cheers. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.